Let's have a look at simplifying algebraic fractions. Probably the most important video that you've watched on this site, but because it's used in everything that you do in maths, you're going to have to know how to do this. So let's start off with a really simple one, 5 over 10. Now this isn't an algebraic fraction, but we're going to simplify this. And the way we're going to simplify it is the way we simplify all algebraic fractions. 5 over 10, we all know that that's the same as 1 over 2, but how do we break it down to be 1 over 2? Well, what we do is we look for a common factor. So what's the highest common factor of 5 and 10? And the highest common factor is 5. So we can divide top and bottom, the numerator and the denominator, by the highest common factor, which is 5. And if we divide the top by 5, we get 1, and divide the denominator by 5, we get 2. Okay, so let's apply that to algebraic fractions. So say if we have this algebraic fraction and we're asked to simplify. So we want to simplify, it's 3a minus 9b divided by 6a minus 18b. So we're going to simplify this. So what we're going to do is we're going to look for a common factor. So I can factorize both the numerator and the denominator. So if we look at the numerator, I can factorize it. I can rewrite that as 3 times, because the highest common factor of these two things would be 3. So 3 times a minus 3b. Because 3 by a gives me 3a, and 3 by minus 3b gives me minus 9b. And at the bottom I could factorize out 6, because I'd have 6 times a will give me 6a, and 6 times minus 3b will give me minus 18b, which I have up here. And now if you look at this algebraic expression, so this is the same as this, and now it's easy to see what's a common factor between the numerator and the denominator. And I can see that a minus 3b is a common factor because it's in the top and the bottom. It's in the numerator and denominator. So I can divide the numerator and the denominator by a minus 3b, and I'll be left with 3 over 6. And then I could simplify that down a little bit more, because, well, 3 over 6, I could divide the numerator and the denominator by 3, because 3 is a common factor here. So 3 into 3 goes once, and 3 into 6 goes twice. So I simplified this all the way down to 1 over 2. Didn't look like it was going to turn out, this was going to turn out to be a half, but it is. Okay, let's have a look. So we have 8x. We're going to do the same thing. So we're going to simplify this. It's 8x minus 10 divided by, and we got 16x squared minus 25. So this one's a little bit harder. We're going to factorize both the numerator and the denominator, and then we're going to look for a common factor between the top and the bottom. So the highest common factor of the numerator would be 2. So I can factorize out 2, so I get twice, and then I get here 4x minus 5, because 2 by 4x gives 8x, 2 by minus 5 gives 10. And then the denominator, well, I've got 16x squared minus 25. Now, what you should notice is that that's the difference of 2 squares, if you remember. So we had this before, the difference of 2 squares. So if we've got something squared minus something squared, we can factorize it like this. The first minus the second times the first plus the second. Now this is, if you go back to the videos on the difference of 2 squares, I'm just going to do it over here. I've got 16x squared minus 25. So remember the way we did it, we noticed that 16 is the same as 4 squared, x squared, and then 25 is 5 squared. So I can rewrite this part as 4x all to be squared minus 5 squared. And now I can factorize this by rewriting that as first minus second, so 4x minus 5 times first plus second, so times 4x plus 5. So this part over here, the denominator, simplifies down to this. So I simplify that down to that. So I can rewrite the bottom, the denominator, as 4x minus 5 times 4x plus 5. So if we go back to this fraction, I started here, I factorized the top and I got this, I factorized the bottom and I got this. And now let's have a look, is there a common factor between the top and the bottom? And there is. We've got 4x minus 5, so I can divide both top and bottom, both numerator and denominator, by 4x minus 5, and I'm left with 2 all over 4x plus 5. So I've simplified it down as much as possible. Let's have a look at another one. So again, we want to simplify, and so we're going to simplify. So we've got a cubed, there we go, a cubed minus b cubed all over 6a minus 6b. So 6a minus 6b. So we want to simplify this. So the top, we got to notice, well, that's the difference of 2 cubes. So you should spot that straight away. And so to factorize the difference of 2 cubes, we've got the first cubed minus the second cubed. It's just first minus second by first squared plus first times the second plus second squared. So to factorize a cubed minus b cubed, it's going to be first minus second. So a minus b multiplied by first squared, so a squared, plus first multiplied by second, so the first here is a and the second is b, so plus a times b, plus the second squared, so plus b squared. And at the bottom in the denominator, well, I can factorize out, there's a 6 common to both things here. This is 6a, this is minus 6b, so I can factorize out 6. So that's 6 times a minus b. And now look at the fraction between the numerator and the denominator. I've got my highest common factor is a minus b. A minus b is a factor of the top, and a minus b is a factor of everything on the bottom. So I can divide top and bottom by a minus b, and I'm left with a squared plus ab plus b squared all over 6. So I took out the highest common factor of both numerator and denominator.